Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Isha Mahmood and we are live today from Lums to interact with all the prospective undergraduate students. So this is your opportunity to get to know more about the schools at Lums, about the programs that we offer, and about our admission criteria. Just to remind you, the deadline to apply to our undergraduate programs is 30th January 2020. So please make sure that you start filling out the applications and you complete the whole process before the stipulated deadline. This 4-year undergraduate degree at Lums is going to be a transformative experience for you. You get to experience a diversity of perspectives. You will have a powerful environment of committed academic scholars that will push you to your limit. You get to engage in various extracurricular activities through 50 different student societies. And you'll have access to a 13,000 strong alumni network that will be there for the rest of your lives. And we're here to help you every step of the way. And for this very reason, we've introduced the idea of the Lums Knowledge Week, where you'll be able to join us live every day till the 19th of December from 4 to 5 p.m. And today, on the first day of our Knowledge Week, we'll be talking about the Suleman Dawood School of Business at Lums. But before we begin to talk about the business school in depth, I'd actually like to take this opportunity to introduce our distinguished panelists to all of you. Sitting right next to me, we have Dr. On Rizvi. Dr. On is an assistant professor and the Associate Dean Academics at the Suleman Dawood School of Business at Lums. Next to him, we have Ms. Atifa Dar. She's also an assistant professor and the program director of the undergraduate program at the business school at Lums. We've also been joined today by one of our alumni from the business school, Mr. Hashim Ali. Mr. Hashim graduated in 2012 from the business school with a major in accounting and finance. He's currently teaching as an adjunct faculty at the business school, and he's also running his own business. Okay, so I'd now like to request Dr. On to please introduce the business school to our audience.
Right, Assalamu alaikum. So the Suleman Dawood School of Business is the oldest school at Lums. Lums started off as a business school with the MBA originally. And it was over the years that it expanded into the other schools that are a part of the Lums family now. The undergraduate program at the Suleman Dawood School of Business primarily started in 2002 when we launched the BSc Accounting and Finance. And our second degree was launched in 2012, which was BSc in Management Sciences. The hallmark of Suleman Dawood School of Business at Lums has been that it has always been innovative and been one step ahead of what the industry requires. When back in 2002, when we launched the Accounting and Finance degree, it was the first time that a specialized undergraduate degree in this field was introduced in the country. And it was only a few years later that the industry matured and realized how critical these graduates were to the future of the country, and thus the BSc Accounting and Finance started being replicated all across the country. And even in 2012, when we were deliberating our second majors program, which was Management Sciences, which stands at the crossroads of business, computer sciences, and mathematics, it was at that time considered too early for our local industry. But now, after our 3 batches have graduated, the markets and the industry has realized that the Suleman Dawood School of Business was right there at the juncture when the transformation of the business environment was required. We are now nearly 1,200 undergraduate students, and over the years, while being one step ahead of the industry, we've also introduced minor programs, which the first minors was in public management, and that was in response to the requirement by the industry and by our alumni and the government when students and when graduates are required with a good understanding of public policy issues. And last year, we launched our computational finance minors in collaboration with the School of Sciences and Engineering to better equip our students with the changing trends in the financial world.
Thank you, Dr. On. Dr. On, if you could please also share something about the Aacsb Accreditation that the Suleman Dawood School of Business had recently
So
achieved.
we've recently gotten the Aacsb Accreditation, which is the premier accreditation for business schools all across the world. Less than 5% business schools all over the world has this accreditation, which basically gives us a seal of approval as a globally competitive business school. We are the first in Pakistan to be provided this accreditation, and it was a long journey of nearly a decade of effort and hard work for us to achieve this.
Thank you very much. All right, so without further ado, we'd like to now start taking live questions from our audience. So Asad would like to ask, I need more insights into the research conducted at Lums. And how can I find about it? So that's what we're here to share, Asad. Ms. Adifa, if you could please answer the question.
The undergraduate program is, we start off, I'll just give you a background, we start off with laying a foundation. But we encourage research in the form of directed coursework. So we have a variety of directed courseworks, which you can do starting in your junior or your senior year, which would be the third and the fourth year of the program. In that you can work with a faculty member either independently or in groups, and the faculty member will supervise. We have a wide range of well-qualified PhD faculty, and they supervise that research work, and you can work in an area that interests you. Along with that faculty member, you'll be closely supervised, and we try to encourage that as much as possible.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Adifa. Dr. On, would you like to add to it, please?
So primarily, our master's and PhD program is more research intensive, while our undergraduate degree, while it does give the flavor of research through the directed research project and S projects, we have one of the largest PhD faculties across the Pakistani business schools. And we actually have a very diverse PhD faculty, which is in all areas from operations management, operations research, finance, accounting, financial mathematics. So that does give a lot of room for innovative research being undertaken at the business school.
Right, okay. So the next question is from Anam, and she'd like to know, if I can't get a job, will the university assist me in finding out about vacancies? I think Mr. Hashim would be the right person to answer this question.
A very common fear, but frankly, coming to Lums, you are joining this, as Isha was saying before, you're joining this huge family of alumni, and frankly, Lums has, throughout its long life, its tentacles are really everywhere. So every vacancy that does get opened, frankly, they will always be asking this university to either hand over graduates or even the job descriptions and how they're being pitched. You will, as a Lums graduate, have access to everything. So as a fear, of course, I can understand where it's coming from, but the main focus for you to come to this university is actually to understand that over 4 years, you will be groomed, you will be taught pretty much everything that you are supposed to have. You should know, you should be able to converse, and you should be able to debate. That's the biggest part of Lums. You're here to argue, here to learn, and you're here to challenge pretty much everybody. So after that experience, frankly, getting placed somewhere in which you would frankly be interested in or be excited about isn't something that you should be worried about, but frankly, the university has a vast array of resources at its disposal, which will help you get wherever you want to.
Thank you very much.
Can I just add to that?
Yes,
we
please.
do have a career services office, and most of our, about 80 to 90% of our graduates are placed in jobs within 6 months of graduating. And they work quite hard at that. We have connections with industry all over, so it's not just, it's the school's connections with industry. So I don't think placement is a huge issue.
Absolutely. So Anam, you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so the next question is from Ali. What is the duration of the BS Accounting and Finance program at Lums? Dr. On, if you could please answer that.
The STSB programs are 4-year degree programs, and the accounting and finance specifically has a mandatory internship after its second year, which can be in an accounting and firm or accounting and auditing firm or a finance related organization. So in total, it's 4 years program, and I think that was the question, right?
Yes, absolutely. So it's a 4-year program. All right. So Sadia would like to know, is BSc Honors related to CA or BBA, or how is it different?
The BSc Accounting and Finance program is associated with 2 professional accounting degrees. One is ACCA and one is the ICAP, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. So for the ACCA, we have an embedded program, which means that students who graduate with the Bachelor of Science Accounting and Finance have automatic exemptions from the first 9 exams, the foundation exams, and they can take the rest of the exams while they are doing their program at the university, and they can complete the ACCA exams within the 4 years. Many of our students do that. ICAP also has exemptions. We have papers that are mapped with their papers, so you get exemptions from the initial 2 stages. The professional stages, you have to then leave. Once you leave Lums, you join a firm, you do your articles, and you can complete your CA degree in 3 years instead of 3.5 years, which is the norm for other graduates.
Right.
So we do have affiliations with professional accounting bodies.
All right. Okay. So the next question is from Rabia. What programs are offered by Suleman Dawood School of Business? I think we just discussed that, but Dr. On, if you could just quickly review that.
So it's primarily the majors are accounting and finance, and the second majors is management sciences. These are the 2 majors degree that we offer at the business school. And as I earlier mentioned, we have 2 minors. One is in public management, and the other one is in computational finance.
Okay. Okay, so the next question is from Waleed, again about the career prospects. So what career opportunities will open for me after completing my undergraduate business degree? Hashim, I'm going to route this question to you again.
Both of you turned to me at the same time. Okay, so it's a very broad question.
Yeah.
So essentially, I would not say that there's anything that you're closing your doors off to other than, let's say, medical or engineering. Everything else, you can find parallels within the business school. As Dr. Om was saying before, our faculty is extremely, their research interests are pretty much in every vertical, be it operations, be it supply chain, be it now growth hacking, be it data science, be it whatever. All of those major verticals in a modern firm are open to our graduates. So the skill set that we gain here applies to any modern firm that somebody might want to achieve. As Dr. Ma'am Atfa was saying, be it accounting, as she said before, the degrees are mapped. If you want to go into that area, great. You might want to become a chartered financial analyst, which is a CFA qualification. Again, 4 years of hardcore finance courses will pay you brilliantly for that as well. So either if you want to go into accounting, management accounting, finance, operational research, whatever, the SDSB is where you want to be.
Thank you, Hashim. Hashim, if you could also share a little bit of your background, because you're right now teaching at the business school, right? So how
Yes.
did you join the business school as adjunct faculty?
So teaching has always been something that I was quite passionate about. It's something that I have always wanted to do. Post Lums, it was quite typical to what any SDSP graduate will do. I joined banking. I was with Standard Chartered. My master's is in hardcore finance as well. As I mentioned before, I hold a CFA charter as well, which means I'm as fancy as you can probably get. But at the same time, after that, I was always in the tech area. So it was more finance and how it relates to technology in today's day and age. So that's what I wanted to bring back to Lums. So as Dr. On was saying, Lums has to be ahead of the market. So if something's happening globally, we have to somehow map it to what our graduates are supposed to expect. So the courses, or what my area of then research would then become, was all fintech. So that's essentially what I brought back to the university.
That's actually what he's teaching for us right now.
Yeah.
A very interesting course on fintech.
All right, that's great. Okay, so Awais would like to know, what are the different teaching methods employed at Lums for this degree? Dr. On?
All right. So essentially, the Lums philosophy, or the business school philosophy primarily, from its day one back in late 1980s, has been a participant-centered learning environment, which primarily means it's not the traditional student-instructor relationship, but we believe in the fact that if there are 60 people present in the class, all of them combined are the resource for learning. And that's where the participant-centered learning philosophy comes. So the methodology is mixed depending on the nature of the course and what kind of learning outcomes are we talking about. So in the initial first years, if it's a technical course, it might be more bent towards lectures, and as the courses become much more participant focused or much more discussion focused, they move towards exercises, discussions, simulations. We use case studies a lot. So it's more of a participant-centered focus, and I think Hashim is teaching in like one of the newer areas in the country right now, fintech. And is focused on market disruptions, where he's using a lot of news articles
Yeah.
as well to have a discussion on where the global trends are going. So it's a mixed teaching, but with a core focus on participant-centered learning environment.
Right.
We also have quite a bit of project-based learning. We've just offered a tourism management course in which the students in groups set up their own tourism management companies. They had to run a successful trip. They had to set up a small unit. They had to take a trip out of the city for 2 or 3 days, and they had to try and make a profit on it. So we try to be practice-oriented as well. It's not just theoretical learning. We try to let students put things into practice as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Atifa. Okay, so the next question is from Shafe, and he'd like to know, do foreign countries accept and recognize my degree?
Hashim
Hashim,
is a prime example.
I think again, it's a very common fear, especially for our local students, but frankly, you couldn't get a better brand than Lums. So it's as a one-liner as you can probably get. Every country that you go to will cherish your degree, so you should be very proud of that.
I'd just like to add to that, our graduates get accepted at the top universities across the world. Oxford, Ivy Leagues, they're accepted. We have Fulbright scholars, so it's definitely an accepted degree.
Great. Okay, so Marva would like to know, what is the structure of this program? Ms. Atifa?
It's a 4-year program, and in the first year, basically, you will be doing principal level courses, and the first year is common for all business school students. So there's no difference. All students will go through the same courses in the first year. At the end of the first year, we ask you to declare your major. So we have 2 majors. We have accounting and finance, and we have management sciences. So you then choose your major, and after that, the program is structured slightly differently for each of the majors. If at the end of the second year you feel that you may have made a bad decision in terms of your major, you feel you're not as interested as you thought, you have the option to change after the second year as well. Okay. And in fact, since we follow the American system, we also allow transfers between schools, although there's no guarantee that you will be able to do that. But we encourage students to explore their interests and then decide on their majors. And so once you've chosen a major and you're sure about it, then there's a separate structure for each, but it essentially follows, you have a core which everybody has to do, and then you have a set of electives which you can choose according to your own interest.
All right. Dr. Om, would you like to add to this?
So one of the exciting things about the Lums undergraduate program, and which is common for all schools at Lums, is the allowance it gives students to go out of their out of their main school and explore other areas. So it's not like if you come into the business school, you'll end up only studying business school courses. Almost 20% of your degree, you have to take it outside your school, which means a lot of students go and explore other areas like philosophy, literature, languages, psychology, sociology, so which helps in broadening their understanding and their worldview. So we have a lot of students who would be doing majors in accounting and finance, but at the same time, they're doing a minors from our humanities school in psychology or even anthropology. So that is, I think, something, and these electives come in your year 2, 3, and 4. So which is one of the more exciting things about the Lums undergraduate.
Absolutely. So this is actually the interdisciplinary approach that we follow throughout the university. No matter which school you get into, you actually get to study minors from different schools. So you have the freedom to choose from any of the other schools, regardless of which school you're studying in. Okay, so Tayyab would like to know, after the completion of first year, can we get transferred into the business school?
Well, transfers are available, but it is on capacity basis and it's on merit. There is no guarantee that you will get a transfer at the end of year one, and this holds true for all schools across Lums. So what happens is that the schools would look at their programs, and depending on the capacity, they would announce the number of transfers they are willing to take in, and for that there's a merit list. So everything, all transfers, all admissions, they happen on merit, but then there is no guarantee about transfers after the first year. While we do try to facilitate, but then there is no guarantee, and I think that's something which anyone who's coming to Lums in any school need to be aware of.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Rayan would like to ask, what is the application deadline and how do I apply? So, as I've mentioned earlier, the deadline to apply to our undergraduate programs is 30th January 2020, and the complete application process is online. You can visit the admission website for more details. That is admission.lums.edu.pk. You can visit the Lums website to get more information about the programs and the deadlines for the tests and to apply online. Okay, so the next question is from Fatima. Are there any specific quotas in admission? Would you like to answer this? Okay, so there are no quotas. There are absolutely no quotas, not based on locations or anything. No sports quotas or anything. The only thing that you in fact need to get into Lums is merit. Okay, so Omar Said would like to know, should we take our SAT during first year or we should give it in second year, and should we submit all the attempts?
There's no hard and fast rule about when you should be taking your SAT. I would suggest you take your SAT when you're well prepared for it, and you need to submit all test scores. So even if you've taken one attempt or two attempts or three attempts, you need to submit all of them.
Test scores, absolutely. So the SAT scores are valid for 2 years, and like Dr. On mentioned, you need to submit all the scores, all the attempted test scores in the application. You need to mention all the scores. Okay, so Nafe Amer would like to know how many average students are in a batch of the ACF degree. Ms. Adipa?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yes, the question is how many average students are in a batch of the ACF degree?
Of the ACF degree, right now we used to have a slightly more tilted towards the ACF, but now the MGS degree has become as popular, and right now we're almost at half and half.
Okay.
So out of a total of roughly 300 students per batch, 150 ACF and 150 MGS.
Right.
So it seems to be a fairly even split at the moment.
All right, okay. So Fatima Khan would like to know, does the business school provide any research grants to the undergraduate students?
As of now, not many.
Okay.
We are working on coming up with some kind of research proposals or research grant scheme. But currently, essentially what happens is the research is more often a directed research project or a senior research project mode. So if the faculty you're working with has a research grant, normally that depending on the scope and how it is set up with the your instructor, the costs, yes, can be covered through that.
All right, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Talha Arif would like to know, okay, so people are quite concerned about the career prospects, and which he'd actually like to ask, which is a better choice in terms of career success, management science or accounting and finance? Again, to you, Hashim.
Again, it would depend on what you would want to do. Frankly, in today's day and age, it depends more on your aptitude as well and how well read you are. As Dr. On was saying, it's not just your courses. It's essentially your electives as well as the entire person that you're creating for yourself during these 4 years at Lums. You could be a brilliant guy who has always performed solidly in his finance courses, who might have done brilliant in his human behavior and psychology courses as well, which might make you brilliant front-facing mutual fund, a corporate banker, or somebody who's trying to sell mutual funds to your customers. So it really depends on, again, what you want to do. I wouldn't say ACF or MGS has a clear advantage over either of them. It just really does depend on what you end up wanting to achieve.
Okay. So Farheen Khan has a question. Does Lums give the opportunity to do ACCA with accounts and finance in parallel?
Yes, as I mentioned before, we have ACCA has an embedded program, so that means the ACCA degree is embedded within the accounting and finance degree. So if you want, you can actually complete all the ACCA papers within the 4 years that you are at Lums, which will make you an affiliate of the ACCA. If you want the complete ACCA membership, you do have to complete the practical experience requirement, which will be done after you leave the university.
Okay. All right, thank you, Satifa. Okay, so Kareem would like to know, apart from academics, what can Lums offer in terms of extracurriculars? Hashim?
I think you mentioned that before. There were 50 odd groups, societies. They grow every year, so it's impossible for you to remember all of them. But again,
so how was the student life when you were here?
It was unlike anything that you will ever experience. So it's on campus, off campus. You will have numerous opportunities to form extremely close bonds. You will be able to do pretty much whatever you want to do, be it music, adventure, sports, whatever. There's something within Lums for your specific interest, even be it filmmaking, be it Model UN. So anything that you are even tangentially interested in, you will find like-minded people who even if there isn't a group, create one. And the admin will eventually help you. So there's really, the sky's the limit.
Right. Dr. On, would you like to add to
Yes,
this? How the extracurriculars are
just adding to what Hashim said. There is literally anything and everything is available at the business school, at the Lums overall. About interests, we even have a Lums culinary club as well now. So people who are interested in cooking and baking, they can join that as well. So the whole persona of the Lums graduate, it's not created in the class only. A major part of it, because remember, you'll only be spending 3 to 4 hours a day on an average in the classroom. The whole your personality is shaped by the 20 odd hours you spend outside your class, which is normally on campus, in these societies, in these co-curricular and extracurricular activities.
Right. Okay, so Muhammad Usman would like to know, when graduating from Lums, does the faculty offer recommendations to students?
Yes, we do. Faculty does write recommendations, and based on those recommendations actually play a really important part in admissions. And yes, definitely we do.
Dr. On?
Yes, definitely. I mean, if you've done well, and if the faculty thinks that, or faculty is of the opinion that you would be, so we would prefer to guide you on the fact on what you should be doing, where you should be, and that's just as guidance. And yes, we do write a lot of recommendations. So that does always help in any kind of applications that you make.
Okay, so Noman Chaudhary would like to know, can I do a major in ACF and a minor in computer science?
Yes, you can, and actually it's a quite a common occurrence now where a lot of students are interested in doing the minors in computer sciences, primarily because of the changing and business environment where technology is becoming critical.
Okay, so Anusha Munir would like to ask, why Lums and why the business school at Lums?
I think
Hashim should
would be the
answer
best
that
person
one.
to
Yes.
answer that.
Because I will definitely take this question. I honestly think there is no other experience that even comes close to encapsulating what you will receive in these 4 years. Be it campus life, be it meeting people from extremely different walks of life. Somebody who comes from the same background as yourself, or somebody who frankly came to Lums as part of our national outreach program. somebody who definitely who might not come from your same background, but who during your classwork, during your courses, you will talk to, you will interact with, and you will understand their life experiences. So again, it's not just the classes, not just your major, it's just the entire Lums experience, which ensures that you are a well-rounded person who knows about the world, who knows about their area of expertise definitely, and when they go out, they're supposed to be able to create an impact, be it in whatever walk of life that you are walking into. So there's why Lums is a very solid, it's a very easy answer. There's nothing like it. And the business school primarily, because again, it is the best of both worlds. It gives you the ability to enjoy Lums, but at the same time going through an academic rigor that will prepare you for whatever corporate or professional life you might want to achieve, be it academia or frankly, corporate at the same time, something similar to what I'm doing. So it's a very simple answer.
Dr. On, please, why Lums and why business school?
Lums is unique in the sense that it gives you a very interdisciplinary educational experience, which is coupled with the social and the co-curricular activities. And I think secondly, one of the major reasons which excites me as an instructor and as part of the Lums faculty is that it is what the student body is probably the best I've seen anywhere. It's not only the best, it's literally the best of the best in the country that is there. And with business school, the accounting and finance program and the management science program being more popular, you literally have the best of the best in the country in class, and who are going to be the movers and shakers of tomorrow. As a faculty, when I walk into a class, it's an exciting experience because 40, 50 students sitting in front of me, and they're at the top of their game. And they will be the ones who will be changing the future of the country. So that's, and anyone would want to be a part of that group, that circle. And as Isha had mentioned earlier, 13,000 strong alumni who are the movers and shakers, and going forward, they are going to be running this country, both academics, corporate, government, and all ancillary areas.
Absolutely. Ms. Atwa, please do add to this.
I think I'll focus on the why STSP part. Yeah. I think what you find is an understanding of business is something that comes in handy, and sooner or later everybody needs it. If you're working in an organization, or whether you're an entrepreneur, you're setting up your own business, when you get to a slightly senior level, you have to know how the numbers work. So I think eventually some people get there a bit later in life. They may start off, say, in marketing, but some people, it's a really good foundation to have. So I think that's why a well-rounded understanding of business will never go to waste.
Right. Okay, so Salman Astam would like to know why not BBA? So why is Lums offering a BSc honors and not a BBA?
I think that has more to do with what we aim to do in these 4 years is a holistic experience, as Hashim has said repeatedly. It's not just the academic content, it's also the grooming. But why a BSc instead of a BBA? We have two objectives in mind. One is to lay a solid foundation for two possible pathways. One is to either pursue a professional career. So you can head for professional accounting, you can head for CFA qualification. So one is to lay a solid foundation for any potential professional career. The other is to also lay a solid foundation for a further academic degree. So these are more sort of technical or discipline oriented in the sense that they would lay a much stronger foundation than a BBA would. So I would say your chances of succeeding in a professional qualification, a lot of our students start those while they are at university. So I think that lays a much better foundation for those two pathways than a BBA does.
Okay. Hashim, would you like to add to this? Why did you go for a BSc honors at Lums instead of a BBA?
I think it again boils down to the rigor element of it. Your degree at Lums is designed to be they might say it's happened in the third or fourth year or second year, but in every course you'll be asked to reproduce research, projects, whatever. It's all just about the entire holistic day 0 to day 360 work that you're putting in. So it's, again, setting yourself up for a very long-term success. So BSc, the way it's structured, the way it's understood overall, it's much more academically exciting and fulfilling.
Right. Okay, so Fatima Asif would like to ask, rank the Lums Business School program on the basis of successful future. Okay, again, future.
Well, I think the question which should come before that is, how do you define the successful future?
Yeah.
That would vary. I would look at it more of a happiness angle. How many of our graduates are satisfied and happy with what they're doing in life, be it working for corporate or be it having their own startups, like Hashim. The general understanding, I don't have the exact numbers per se. The general understanding and the feeling which we get when we talk to our alumni is most of them have done and achieved what they would like to in their lives, and they're aspiring to be. So the ones who are in corporate sector who are working are on fast tracks. They are one step ahead of any other colleague of the same background. The ones who've gone into startups are doing really well. Their startups are performing well. The ones who've decided to go for further education, they're actually doing good as well in their careers. And then there's a group of our alumni who's decided to take a more unconventional approach, which was an unconventional approach a few years ago, and they've gone into the government service. And most of them are actually doing very well and being in the limelight and the spotlight in the government departments. So I think overall, most of the alumni is content and happy and satisfied with what they are doing in their lives, and they think they're on the right path towards the future. So I think that would be successful, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so Faiza Salim would like to know, are there any on-campus jobs for the undergraduate students?
One of the most common things that most of our undergraduates do is they tutor.
Okay.
So there's this online platform and they share, so they get tutoring jobs on campus and off campus. So I think that is one of the most common ones that the undergrads do, but Hashim may know more about this than I do.
That has gotten quite popular in the past 3 odd years. So yeah, there are opportunities. There are opportunities led by this tutoring platform was built by Lums alumni, frankly. So they were business school alumni who designed it immediately after they graduated. It was incubated at Lums, designed here for particularly our university. So there are opportunities to earn. In your 3rd and 4th year, you could become a course teaching assistant as well, which means that you are with the instructor guiding the students through their learning process. So that's something that is an income generating potential, and of course makes you much more well-rounded person as well. So yeah, there are options, but again, it is truly you need to go out and look for them as well. They will not come knocking at your door. So you need to know what you want to do.
Startups at the National Incubation Center also advertise internships. So that's also an employment opportunity, very often in the summer. So that is also a platform where you can get some employment opportunities.
Right. And do we offer RA-ship or TA-ship on the undergraduate?
TA-ships, yes, we have. That's quite a few students, because all of our undergraduate courses are faculty is assisted by teaching assistants, and those are available to students, starting in their 3rd and 4th year though.
All right, okay. Okay, so Selena Aurangzeb would like to know, can we take courses from all Lums schools while majoring in accounting and finance degree? I think we've answered this before, but Dr. Owen, if you would quickly
Yes, definitely. And we actually tend to force the students to go outside the school and take courses. So there is a set number of courses which you have to take outside the business school. And the whole idea is for you to step out of your comfort zone and explore other areas which will to groom yourself, to learn about new things, to enhance your worldview. So yes.
In fact, I believe during the first year of the undergraduate program, students actually get to study these courses from some fundamental courses from all of the schools. Right?
Yes,
and then they declare their major by the end of the first year.
Yes. So in the first year, if you're admitted to any school of your choice, if you're admitted to the business school, while you will be studying business school courses, you would be taking some university core courses which are taught by other schools as well. So you get a flavor of what other schools are. And at the end of the first year, you'll end up declaring your majors.
Right. Okay, so Heather Rahman would like to ask, does Lums accept ACT scores? So yes, Heather, actually.
Yes, we do.
From this year onwards, we've started accepting ACT as well. So to get into Lums, there's a mandatory test, and in fact, to get into the business school, since we're talking about the business school today, so you need to take the SAT with the essay component, or you can take the ACT with the essay component. Dr. On?
Yes.
Do you want to add something?
No, that's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
All right. So Khalil Baloch would like to know, is there any exchange program for undergraduate students of the business school?
Yes, there is an exchange. So we actually have a very vast and exciting exchange program, which is all over the world, which is with universities all over the world. Normally, the exchange program students, we generally recommend them to go in the third year, but we do have exchange students in our second year as well. So normally, the first year you have to do on campus. Second and third year, you have the exchange opportunities. They're advertised across the universities, across the university. They're competitive, naturally. And in year 4, we recommend generally not to be on exchange, because that is normally when you're trying to wrap up your degree requirements. So year 2 and 3, yes, we do have, and quite a lot of our business school students actually end up going on exchange.
Okay, so in fact, we do have partnerships with 50 universities across the globe that offer exchange programs to our students. Okay, so Fahmida Asif would like to know, is SAT score above 1300 considered a good score to get into the undergraduate program, specifically for the business school? Dr.
Well, it actually depends on the pool of applicants we get each year. So there is no hard and fast rule if it's good or bad. The higher the better. So we can't actually say if it's a good score or not, because it actually depends on what kind of applicants we get. Historically, what we have seen is that the admission into the business school has been becoming more and more competitive.
Competitive, absolutely. Okay, so Hashim, would you like to add to this?
I think he covered it perfectly. So it's again, it's completely grey. You can't call one score better or worse. So
any tips for the SAT?
So again, as you just said, my SAT happened in 2007. So since that time, the scoring has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine was out of a scale of 2400. So I don't even know anymore.
Okay, so Ali Imran would like to know, how can we get scholarships, or are there any merit scholarships that are being offered to the undergraduate students?
As well, I know of, I don't know much details. The details are available on the admissions website.
Okay.
But there are 100 merit scholarships for the top 100 students admitted to Lums each year. So, but those are university-wide.
Yes.
So and the rest about scholarships, the admissions portal has all the details.
Okay, so yes, we do have 100 merit scholarships, and like Dr. On said, you'll be able to find all the details on the admission website. Okay, so Zishan Ali would like to know, please share guidelines on what should be mentioned in the personal statement. Okay, that's a very frequently asked question.
I can take that one. The personal statement is supposed to reflect not only your academic abilities, but we also like to try to have some assessment of what your interests are as a person, and what excites you and what is it that you would really like to do. So we're interested in things other than academics as well. So it needs to be a comprehensive sort of statement about who you are as a person and what it is, which direction you're headed in.
Okay, Hashim, would you like to add to this personal statement, the application?
It's you're trying to portray who you are as a person. That's essentially, in a nutshell, what it is. Focusing just on your grades, on your A levels or O levels or your SAT or ACT score, that again just doesn't do the job. As my Matha was saying, you really need to try and portray a complete 100% picture of who you are, what pushes you, what motivates you. Again, you're coming to Lums, you're coming to the business school particularly. So again, a little bit about why that, what are you trying to gain out of this as well? Because again, as Dr. Ahmed was saying before, it is a participatory system, and Lums is about contributing to the whole as well as taking from it. So again, the personal statement is just trying to tell us what you will bring to this university as well.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so we have a question here. Is it possible to switch majors after first year?
Normally, it's at the end of the first year that you have to declare your majors. It is possible to switch your majors at the end of year 2 or in 3 even. It's normally not recommended, primarily because once you've declared your majors, you start taking courses which are from that major stream. So if you switch your majors at the end of year 2 or 3, it might become a bit difficult to manage your requirements within the 4 years. But yes, that is always a possibility.
That's a possibility. So we do not really recommend that, and you'll be declaring your major by the end of the first year. So we'd advise you to choose carefully, actually. Okay, so Fahad would like to know on a general level, how many classes per week should I expect from this program? Or how rigorous is the undergraduate degree at the business school at Lums?
The undergraduate program is rigorous. I don't think there's any program at Lums that isn't. The average course load that a student will have will vary between 5 to 6 courses in a semester, and each course has 2 75-minute classes per week. So that's the number of classes you'll be having. Some of them have labs with them, but then there's quite a bit of the work that gets done outside the classroom as well. So I think what you'll find is it's essentially like a full working week. We'll keep you occupied quite a bit. And on top, I think you miss out on the entire Lums experience if you focus only on the academics. It's good to make time for the extracurricular as well. But so that's 5 to 6 courses and 2 classes per course is the minimum that you're going to have.
Hashim, do you want to add to this? How is
it? Is definitely a 9 to 5. Yes, as simple as that.
No, I would say more than a 9 to 5 possibly.
It definitely is. So again, the course load is something separate. That's something that you have to do to excel there. That's mostly out of the classes. So to understand what's happening, the discussions, the cases, the readings, that will all happen outside the class. You will at times have to come to class having pretty much prepared exactly what you're supposed to do. So there is a fair amount of work. It is, as my master was saying, every degree in Lums is rigorous, but the business school particularly so.
Okay, so the next question is internship mandatory for the undergraduate program at Lums?
It's only mandatory for the accounting and finance majors. Our management science majors also do internships, but that's their choice. But most of our students will do over and above the mandatory internship as well. I think what it does, it adds a lot to your CV. It gives you a lot of practical exposure, and it also helps you in finding jobs later on then.
Right, okay. All right, so Farzana Thokir would like to know, my daughter wants to get admission in business school, but she missed her SAT in December. She will appear for her SAT in March. Is it acceptable? So yes, absolutely. We are accepting the SAT in March. So the one that is going to be conducted on March 14, Lums will be accepting that. But obviously, you need to complete the application process before the deadline, which is 30th January 2020. And then you can submit the SAT score directly through the testing service. Okay, Selena would like to know, do we have to write our extracurricular activities in our personal statement? Because there's a separate box for that. So how important are extracurriculars when you review the application of a student?
I think we do like to go for well-rounded people. Your O-level result and your SAT score will give us a very good indicator of what your academic abilities are. So I think the whole purpose of the personal statement is for you to build on, give us something more than that. And we do like to, we feel that that skill set is important, whether it's sports, whether it's, debates, whether it's whatever it is, it does add strength to your application.
Okay, Dr. On, would you like to add to
Yes,
that?
definitely. When we're reviewing the applications, it does add on to your profile. I would suggest, especially if you're not at the top of the class academically, but you're doing something, some amazing work in an extracurricular activity, that would definitely add value. So to build your case, you need to give us the complete picture of who you are, not only as the academic you, but as a complete person who you are. So that's why definitely your extracurricular and co-curricular is required.
Right, so Hashim, would you like to add to this? How active were you in your student life?
So I think, as again, amount of experience reading applications as what doctors have, I frankly do not. But again, having written a fair few in my life, again, goes back to what we were discussing before. The extracurriculars are what tell us more about you as a person. That's where you're showing who you are. Your grades do not. The grades are how you think, how you analyze problems, brilliant. But who you are as a person, what are you bringing to the school, that's all your extracurriculars, be it debates, be it sports, be it whatever. Again, try to tell, again, a professor, it's just a piece of paper. They haven't met you, they don't know you. They're trying to find out as much about you as they can from what you're writing. So covering pretty much everything is, I think, the best way to go. Do not just focus on your grades or your co-curricular. It has to go hand in hand. It has to be a happy medium of the two. So it's trying to tell us what you did through your life and what is bringing you to Lums through that.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that this session was as helpful as you hoped it to be. We tried answering most of the queries, if not all of them. If you still think you need more information on our programs, on the admission criteria, please feel free to visit our website, which is admission.lums.edu.pk. You can also write directly to our admissions team at admissions, that's admissions with an S. So admissions@lums.edu.pk. You can also call them directly at the helpline, which is 042-3560-2177. Please do join us tomorrow, same time. We'll be talking about the Mushtaq Ahmed Gurmani School of Humanities and Social Sciences from 4 to 5 p.m. Please bring all the questions that you have relevant to that school, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.